Hello and welcome to the Speak English with Zach podcast. I'm your host Zach, a native English speaker and certified English teacher from Ireland. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about the fear of public speaking, the act of speaking to a live audience. There are many situations in life where people take part in public speaking, whether they'd like to or not. Public speaking can take many forms, including giving a presentation at school, giving a speech at a wedding, or doing a stand-up comedy routine at a comedy club. On the topic of stand-up comedy, there's a famous quote by comedian Jerry Seinfeld about the fear of public speaking. He says, and I quote, "Given the choice, people would prefer to be in the casket than delivering the eulogy for the person in the casket." End quote. A eulogy is a speech or piece of writing that praises someone or something highly, especially a tribute to someone who has just died. In other words, people would prefer to be dead than to give a speech in front of other people about someone who died. Jerry Seinfeld's quote gives you some insight into how crippling the fear of public speaking can be for a lot of people. A study conducted in the USA reports that more than 75% of people suffer from a fear of public speaking to some degree. So what can be done to overcome a fear of public speaking? It really depends on the extent of your fear. Some people can overcome their fear by themselves, but others may need to seek the assistance of a therapist, a person who treats mental conditions through verbal communication and interaction. This doesn't mean that there aren't things you can do by yourself to help reduce your fear. As with many things in life, preparation is a key aspect that can make any process go a lot smoother, including public speaking. If I asked you to speak about a topic you knew nothing about, it would be pretty difficult, wouldn't it? But if I gave you a week to prepare, it would be a lot easier, right? Preparation, preparation, preparation. It's one of the best things you can do to help reduce your fear of public speaking. Let's say you have to give a 5-minute presentation to your co-workers or classmates. What steps would you take to prepare for it? You'll need to research the topic, maybe create some PowerPoint slides, and prepare a script or talking points that will allow you to speak about the topic for the duration of the presentation. But the preparation shouldn't end there. It's also important to rehearse your presentation beforehand, either by recording a video of yourself or by rehearsing the presentation in front of your friends or family to get more comfortable speaking in front of others. Another method of overcoming a fear of public speaking, as well as fears in general, is exposure therapy, a form of therapy that is used to treat irrational fears and phobias with gradual and increasing exposure to the feared object. So what kind of exposure therapy might you do to overcome a fear of public speaking? You could start by reading a paragraph from a news article out loud in front of your friends or family. It might sound simple, but the key to exposure therapy is to take small steps to gradually expose yourself to more stressful situations or environments. If you fear speaking in class or work meetings, the next time you have a class or work meeting, you could try to ask or answer a question to get more comfortable speaking in that environment. If you do something repeatedly, you can become more confident doing it. Can you think of something in your life that you became more confident in the more you did it? I know I can. I used to feel intimidated when speaking Spanish to native speakers when I traveled to Spain. I was able to overcome this fear by improving my Spanish and speaking it to native speakers as much as I could. Do you see how I combine preparation with exposure therapy? Learning vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar is great, but you need to actively use the language by having real conversations if you want to improve your conversation skills in whatever language you're learning. If you suffer from a fear of public speaking, I hope this podcast has shown you that you're not alone, and I hope that you've gained some helpful advice on what you can do to overcome it. Let's recap the vocabulary I covered in today's podcast about the fear of public speaking. Public speaking is the act of speaking to a live audience. A eulogy is a speech or piece of writing that praises someone or something highly, especially a tribute to someone who has just died. Symptoms are the physical or mental problems that a person experiences that may indicate a disease or condition. The idiom "down the line" means in the future. Exposure therapy is a form of therapy that is used to treat irrational fears and phobias with gradual and increasing exposure to the feared object. And finally, A therapist is a person who treats mental conditions through verbal communication and interaction. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating or review. It only takes 5 seconds and it really helps because it grows the podcast and allows me to reach more listeners. For those who want to learn English faster by having one-to-one private conversations with me over video chat, make sure to check out my website, speakenglishwithzach.com. You can find the link to my website in the episode description. Thanks for listening.